Last time we finished it up to this point. Just been primed. So we're going to do base coats. We're doing black, red, a little bit of gold. I've already done a couple of test sprays. Stay. With the vent. And this was a base coat of metallic gold. A light dusting of copper clear coat. And that looks I love that. That's going to look fantastic on this black. So, like I said, we're about ready to start finishing this thing. I'm going to do a black coat, flat enamel on the entire thing. The visor and fin's going to be red, and then we're going to do gold. So, should be pretty simple, should be easy. Hopefully this will be a quick one. But once we start getting some color on this, it's going to look fantastic. So we're going to start with the black. This thing turned out way better than I expected. I absolutely love it. It's got this kind of a weird satiny plastidip look to it. Kind of neat. Next thing, we're going to do the red. I'm excited about the red. So first I'm going to tape everything off and let me show you how I tape things. It says had a full day to cure. Last thing I want to do at this point is, pull off some paint. This first run of tape, I want to get as close to my final edge as possible. When I put the bag over, I'm going to have more room. So you'll see what I mean. I tend to just choose a point, in this case a literal point, and I'm just going to go in the same direction all the way around. What I mean by that is the next piece overlaps the piece right before it. So when I pull, I can pull it off as if it were one solid piece. So now I'm just going to follow this this detail line as close as I can. I'm thinking about doing a gold trim all the way around, which will mask any slight imperfections. But at this point, I'm just laying down tape all the way around. Other than, overlapping. Make sure you go in the same direction. That way when you pull, everything comes off at the same time. Nice and easy. It's costuming. None of it needs to be too complicated. Most people make everything a little more complicated than it needs to be. But I'm just going to go all the way around. We'll meet up as soon as I'm done with that. It's taped, right? I didn't worry about the ear cups because the little red gets in there. They're getting covered anyway. But I did forget, because I'm not paying attention, a pair of scissors. The nice thing about using a bag for this is it covers the helmet pretty easy, and you can usually see through it. And it's nice to be able to see through the bag, so I know exactly where to cut, so I can tape everything down. I'm not worried about really damaging the paint because it's taped there. I usually just cut a little tape, make sure everything is down, cut a little tape. That way I don't have to worry about, bag moving on me. Or making sure I cut everything at the exact right side. We'll do your side first. So I usually just cut right along the edge of the tape. That way I have plenty of room to tape on top. And yes, it's still kind of a waste, but plastic bags don't really recycle. There's not much we can do with them. So at least I'm doing something with it instead of just, tossing it in a bin. I'm going to spray paint it and then toss it in a bin. So that's it. We just do this all the way around. Here he is, all taped up and ready to go. Time for red. So the red, which is just gloss enamel, looks amazing. Not exactly what I want. I'm gonna go over it with metal cast red clear coat. It basically it's gonna candy it, so it's gonna give it a nice deep shell. I want a lot of depth to this. This stuff hangs in the air a lot longer than you'd expect. Super light coats, but absolutely wear a respirator. I don't even care if you're outside. This stuff just clings to everything. You don't want that in your lungs. This red is amazing. A little piece of fuzz here. I messed with it, which cascaded into this weird. I had to go base coat and then red and red and red and trying to even everything out. Kim likes it, so I'm gonna leave it. I think it looks a little blotchy, a little weird. She likes it. I don't question her taste. But next step is to pull all the tape. We're gonna do that in a couple of minutes. Just look at that red though. That red is amazing. This isn't dry, not even close. You do not want to wait for paint to fully dry before you pull the tape, or there's a good chance you're going to pull the paint with it. Since we have a bag, it's actually pretty easy to take everything off. Very carefully seal the tape. Oh, look at that. All right. And then, since I overlapped everything, it's just a matter of carefully peeling the tape up. Oh my goodness. Color palette is the envy of any death watch. I mean, look at that. It's almost a shame I'm not doing one of those. Oh my goodness. That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, do I love how this looks. We are now on to accent color. It's going to be a gold. It's going to be this gold. Just out of curiosity. Oh, look at that. That is pretty alright. Alright, we're going to let it dry, leave it for a bit, and then we'll be back. I'm probably going to leave it till overnight because I do not like taping up semi-wet paint. I want to make sure everything's dry, cured, and good to go. It's taped up and ready for paint. I was going to do this in gold because I had gold here, and then put everything together, and I'm like, that would look fantastic in silver. So I'm going to go a light dusting of the base coat. I don't want it like chrome. I'd like it like a Beskar, you know, just a light dusting of silver. We'll see. If I don't like it, I can always just throw the origin gold back on it but I think I'm going to enjoy the silver, so that's what we're doing next. They're doing construction on my road. Unfortunately, I cannot wait, so sorry about the noise. Silver looks good. Let's peel everything off and see what we get. I may do black pinstriping. I haven't quite decided yet. I would like a little more definition maybe. But that's something that's going to happen way down the road. That's not a thing I need to worry about now. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Alright. I think it's time to glue the rest on. We'll pop over the side here. We'll do it together. So there are print artifacts on these from being printed vertically. But I think I'm going to leave them. I may actually put a wash in there to highlight them a touch. There's also, like, I wanted to do red in here, but oh my goodness, that is perfect. All right, so let's glue everything in. Just using standard glue. I'll leave that for 5 minutes. Come back and do the other side. I used too much glue and it ran. Couple of spots. So I need to sand those off. I'm going to use 220, mask everything, and then re-black. Luckily it's a flat black. It shouldn't be a big deal. I'm just upset that I have to do this because I have to be very careful, and then I have to mask all along this so I don't get black in there. It's frustrating. These things happen. It's not the end of the world. But it is what it is. So, like I said, I'm going to sand these back with 220, hand sanding. I'm not going to use anything. And then I'm going to tape this off and then just spray, and then same thing for the ear cup. Hey, other than that, it looks fantastic. Every time I have to paint this stupid thing, I've got to wait like a day before I do anything else. I don't want to mess up the paint any more than it already is. It's visor time. Everything looks pretty good. It's still got a slight sheen to it, and it's gonna until it's fully cured. That's all right. But the way I have the visor set up, it's got spots for everything. Let me pull you over here, and we'll show you what we're doing. So, since I plan these to be two separate pieces, there's actually an edge that I'm going to secure everything to. I have, let's clean it off real quick. Just some, yeah, let me look at this clear thing. Face shield. And it bends and it'll fit almost perfect. I went with clear, and then I'm going to use car tint so I can tint it whatever color I want. I went with a darker chrome, as I'm hoping, I don't know. I thought it looked neat. I got chrome on my Royal Guard. I wanted something reminiscent. So, since it's clear, I can just push it in place and roughly trace it, and then cut it out. And I'm just using acrylic shears for that. So that's where we're at now. So in the end, that right there is what we got. And look at this clear thing. It'll be easier to see in a minute. So everything's nice and clean. I washed everything. Ideally, I'd have a nice smooth surface to do this on. I don't have a nice smooth surface, so you know, a little bit of laminate flooring goes a long way. Well, this is going to move relatively quickly. So we'll see. Probably straight there, you think? It's probably about right. Let me give myself a little extra, just because. So these things tend to work with a sheet of plastic with the film stuck to it. It's kind of what I'm trying to work with now, is separating the film from the plastic. There we go. The film itself is relatively flat. Most of the curl comes from the plastic. They recommend using water to stop the film from adhering, which is a very good idea. Because now I got a bunch of bubbles, which I would have had anyway, but so there's a lot of little bubbles here that had I just sprayed this down a little bit, watch. The surface tension from the Windex but if you notice, huge difference between this side and this side. So now I'm just going to let this dry, make sure everything's adhered well, and we'll be almost done. Were this a display piece, we would be done. But it's not. It's part of a costume. There's a little more to go. The padding, maybe acre, sound systems, don't know yet. But I think for now we're done. I'm pretty happy with it. Happy enough. This one's coming down. This one's going up. I'm really happy with them. Turned out perfect. So that's the end of this one. We're going to do more. I got other stuff printing and we're getting there. But for now, we're going to call this done. Next week, I think we're going to do something completely different. Maybe do some talking, discuss a couple things, see where we're at. But other than that, yeah. Hope to see you next time.